Isn't it weird how quickly some games get replaced? Look at sports games. Those almost always get yearly releases. And what changes between each year? Maybe I'm speaking out of place here, because I'm not a big football or basketball fan, but I feel like there's not that much different between each game. You're all but guaranteed to find hordes of decade-old Maddens and NBA 2Ks at any place you can buy second-hand games. You can get them dirt cheap on eBay. If you play them yourself, you might have a collection of old PGA Tours in a shoebox somewhere. Isn't it weird that so much effort is put into creating all these games, only for them to be completely dropped for the game next year? It's like a disposable toothbrush. It was created for one purpose, and once its time is up, it's to be discarded in favor of another. It feels weird for pieces of art to be treated like that. Today I wanted to talk about disposability in different types of games and how they affect you. And just know, I'm not talking about games like Assassin's Creed or all those LEGO games that released what felt like once a week some years ago. Those games came out very frequently, but they were meant to stand on their own. Assassin's Creed Origins is going for something completely different than Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Sure, they might have a lot of similarities, but they're different enough in just the right ways to where I could imagine someone picking one over the other in like 100 years. I can't imagine someone picking Madden 2017 over Madden 2082 in like 100 years. I guess let's get into that. I'm not a sports gamer, so take everything I say with a grain of salt here. And feel free to correct me if I say something completely wrong. I need correcting every now and then for all the stupid stuff I say. I just know that I can go on eBay and buy any copy of a Madden game that's over 2 years old and get it for cheaper than $10. All the way from Madden 23 to Madden 01, they can all be had on the cheap. Why is that? I think the biggest draw to any one game is the roster. You want the latest game so you can play with the teams and players that are active in the current season. Plus, all your friends are playing it, and nowadays there's an online component. You want to be a part of the community playing that game in particular. People aren't just playing Madden, they're playing Madden 25. But it always felt weird to me that these games get thrown to the wayside so quickly. So much time and effort is put into each game. And I know I did say earlier that not much changes year to year, but I'm sure there's a good amount that does. New UI work, new voiceover, new player models, coding any new side modes. They aren't literally the same game every year. I just saw on Twitter that the new 2K game has a kart racing mode for some reason. There is undoubtedly a lot of effort put into each entry to make it the tiniest bit distinct from the last one, only to be thrown out when the next year rolls around. Honestly, I don't think people care that much. People don't really see the artistic value in the current Madden compared to Assassin's Creed Origins or whatever. It's not trying to tell a super engaging story, and whatever story it might be trying to tell feels like an obligation. It never feels like a passion piece. I never hear anyone say, "Dude, you gotta check out the story mode on the new Madden game. They go places you wouldn't believe." The only viral clips I remember seeing from the stories of these types of games are bad line reads from people that don't usually voice act.
Do the work, listen to the culture, and the result will take care of themselves. Because at the end of the day, it's not about the money, the nice hotel, the private jets. Remember.
Compare that situation with the people's lack of care for past entries with Call of Duty. You could argue that Call of Duty is very similar to sports games as I've described them here, especially considering they release a new game every year. There's been a new Call of Duty game since 2005 with Call of Duty 2. They took 2 years to make that game after the first. It does kind of feel like people throw away last year's game to play the new one. Sure, you might have some people that lag behind a bit, games be expensive these days, but for the most part, it feels like players just want to play the newest game. And while that might be the case for the majority, people feel a lot more love for specific entries. People will talk about the one they played to death as a kid, and you know what? They can pop that game in their Xbox and hop online to play it. You can do it on PC too, but I think I heard they aren't really safe on PC anymore, so maybe just stick to consoles. My point is, people can and do play the older Call of Duty games. I have no doubt that you could boot up the original Modern Warfare 2 on your Xbox Series X and find some matches. People might be noob-tubing like crazy, but by God, you can do it. That, quote, version of Call of Duty is a lot of people's favorite. And maybe they don't want to play Vanguard or Cold War or the new Modern Warfare 3, they just want to play the OG Modern Warfare 2. Because there's an insane amount of intricacies that make it feel better to them than any of the other games. The artistic choices the developers made for that game resonate with people and draw them to that specific entry. Maybe sports games do have those intricacies. I know people are really fond of some of the older wrestling games like WWF No Mercy. I don't know, maybe I'm just not giving these games a fair shot. You sports gamers tell me, do you go back to or even think about releases from like a decade ago? Or do you keep up with the yearly pace of new releases? Maybe NBA 2K14 is the best game ever created, and I'm just an ignorant goober. The game that got me thinking about all this recently was Forza Horizon 4. Forza Horizon 4 is another entry in the open-world racing game that sees you driving around a big map and doing all kinds of car activities. I say yet another entry, this is obviously the fourth entry, and 5 has been out for a couple years. 4 came out in 2018. And racing fans know what happens to racing games after they've been up for a couple years. The dreaded delisting. Licensing deals with car manufacturers are almost always made with a timeline in mind. Microsoft pays Honda a fat stack of cash so they can use their lineup of cars in their game. But the agreed upon deal says that the game will only be listed for 6 years. Once that time is up, the game gets yanked from digital shelves and new players are unable to purchase it. Players who already owned the game can still download and play it. Plus the servers will still be online. As long as you own the game digitally by the delisting date, then practically nothing will change. But what about people who discover the game after the fact? What are they to do? The people who bought the game can enjoy it to their heart's content for years to come, but anyone coming by later will be shit out of luck. Now I should say, the game isn't completely inaccessible. You can still buy physical discs and play the game that way, if you're on console. And considering that consoles are trying to push players towards digital ownership more and more, it's not out of the question that physical discs won't be an option in the not-too-distant future. PC players are completely screwed. Once December 15th rolls around and the game gets delisted from the Steam store, you will be unable to legally obtain Forza Horizon 4. And I think that's kinda sad. Whenever the delisting was announced in late June, it got me wondering if I'd like to play it. I'm kind of a slave to the FOMO, and I didn't want to miss out on this game, so I watched some reviews and it seemed like people really like Forza Horizon 4. Some are even saying it's the best in the series, and I definitely saw a lot of people saying it was better than 5, the latest game. So I gave in. I bought a copy of Forza Horizon 4, securing it a place in my Steam library before I would be unable to buy it in late December. It feels kinda weird having to go through this whole rigmarole. Microsoft makes these deals knowing the game will be unavailable for purchase digitally after 6 years. People buy the game on release, the game gets some updates, everyone has a blast. 3 years later, the sequel comes out and the cycle repeats. But as people are starting to get tired of that game, the previous game dies a quiet death. And look, I get it. These games couldn't have been made if the licensing deals were in perpetuity. Microsoft would have to pay an insane amount of money just for the brands, and the quality of the game itself would suffer. The fact that they're able to have these games up for as long as they do is a miracle itself. Plus, they always put these games on such deep discounts before the delisting. I got the $100 version of the game for $20. They try and make it as accessible as possible before the game is gone from digital stores for good. But on principle, it still feels kinda weird. To bring it back to a series I mentioned earlier, imagine if they did this with Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed Origins comes out, people play it and have a grand old time. Odyssey comes out and people love that too. Then, as Assassin's Creed Valhalla comes out, Ubisoft quietly announces that you won't be able to purchase Origins anymore. That'd be crazy, right? There's so much to each individual game that makes it unique from the others. The newer one doesn't simply replace the older one. People enjoy Bayek from Origins. That's a part of the game that people loved that Odyssey and Valhalla didn't have. And Bayek's not a feature or a game mode, He's a person. He has wants and needs. He's a written character with a story arc. If video games are art, then Assassin's Creed Origins is art. And it feels weird to put a time limit on art, doesn't it? That's why the hypothetical delisting of this game feels wrong to me. It's very clearly a piece of art that was made with heart. And it's important to recognize my own biases here. I think sports games can have that. It's possible for them to have artistic value, even if I might not imagine them to at first glance. Forza Horizon 4 helped me realize that. That's as much a sports game as Madden or 2K. The main thing that changes in Forza Horizon with every release are the cars included and the map it takes place in. If you want to play a Horizon game that lets you race around Britain, you only have one game to do that in, and it's going to be unavailable in a couple months. If you want to race around Australia, you literally can't. Forza Horizon 3 is gone. Thanos snapped away to the digital ether. I guess at the end of the day, it's futile to really worry about that. This practice won't change. And I don't really know that it should. At least in terms of Forza, we're already getting great games that release semi-regularly. If Microsoft were to try and make a new deal with car manufacturers where they could have these games listed in perpetuity, then the game's quality would noticeably change. Whether that's due to certain brands dropping out, the size of the game decreasing, or the quality getting worse, these games would almost certainly be not as good. As much as I hate to say it, I think this is the best situation we can hope for, realistically. Other sports gamers, I don't know what to tell you. Seems like you guys have some bigger problems over there. I wish you the best with the upcoming releases. I'll pray for you. Thanks for watching.